Now time for your business, and the Energy Commission says it is making progress with moves to get industrial firms that generate their own power, like mining and steel companies, purchase a specified amount of renewable energy for their operations. This is part of initiatives towards the achieving of 10% renewable energy target in the country's energy mix by 2020. More in this report.
The Energy Commission has initiated moves to begin full implementation of the renewable energy program in the industrial sector before end of the year. The Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, has welcomed the initiative as a cheaper option, but wants government to support its members with direct or indirect funding because of the huge initial cost of installation.
There's not resistance, but there's not also, if you like, adoption. So there's
why the hesitation?
Cautious. Everybody's cautious. I mean, I've been talking to one company, Solar, who's proposing to take all the risks and supply to companies. Now, these are not necessarily big companies. It could be just an office complex or a car dealer or whatever. So it's not huge. We are talking about under a megawatt, where the only thing they have to commit to is to buy the power. But people are very cautious of signing a 20-year agreement to buy power, and it's just a little bit of fear of the unknown. And I think that's why we are sort of encouraging them that yes, it's not a pipe dream, it's real, it can happen and it can work. And as you saw in the presentation, the cost is actually attractive.
Meanwhile, the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, has criticized the Energy Commission for what it describes as an abuse of its authority to regulate the importation of renewable energy technology into the country. According to the Deputy Executive Director, Ben Boache, the Commission can be blamed for the country's inability to effectively deploy renewable energy.
There is so much discretion given to Energy Commission to license renewable energy, and it's sort of being abused, so there is that bureaucracy built into it. They determine what renewable even qualify to be a renewable. If you are bringing solar panel, Energy Commission says that this solar panel, because you don't have the full complements of the solar technology with batteries and inverters, we will not consider it as renewable. You can bring it in, but you ask yourself, what can you do with solar panels, without generating electricity out of it? So I think that we should be so plain and explicit in the provisions so that people can just pick the law and follow it and bring in the renewable. We give so much discretion to Energy Commission, and that is killing the adoption of renewable energy.
And the local textile industry is said to be recording some significant growth in recent years, despite unfair competition from cheap imported prints. The industry had been on the decline, mainly due to the influx of Chinese textiles bearing pirated local designs. Sheila Tamaklo has come through with this report as well.
Manufacturing firms have played a major role in the country's development, creating jobs for thousands. Statistics show local textile companies produced a total of about 129 million yards in 1977. This had, however, declined to a total of about 46 million yards in 1995. But the head of marketing at GTP, Stephen Badu, says unlike some years ago, the industry is now recording a 5% year-on-year growth despite the unfair competition.
The textile industry, or the African print industry, it's a growing one. It's a booming one. Year on year, we estimate, it's an estimate, we don't have the actual figures, but we estimate that the market size is about 110, 120 million yards on average for Ghana. It's growing about 5% or so every year. We estimate that it's valued about between $150, $160 million. Wow, so it's quite a big industry, and it's growing.
Evolving global fashion trends have boosted the appeal of African prints on the international market. Stephen Badu says local manufacturers like GTP are capitalizing on this by producing about $8 million worth of export across the African sub-region.
We are into exports. I mean, GTP Wooden, we do exports. And if I pick the figures for, let's say, 2014, we managed to export about $8 million worth of fabrics to mostly West African states. So we export up to DRC, we export to Uganda, to Kenya, and a little to South Africa.
Stakeholders, however, want government to implement better policies and incentives to drive sustainable growth in the sector.
So that brings us to the end of business here, and we have a lot more business for you between 1 and 1:30 on the market. But today we'll be looking at the entire report of the inflation numbers released for the month of June. What exactly is it that it means to you? Does it mean more money or less? We'll be looking at that in detail on the marketplace. My name is John Kojo Amwako. Up next is your sports.